Another multi-$1,000 day I posted on Twitter. In the graphic that you can see on, I think it should be your right-hand side over here where my cigar is pointing. I posted that on Twitter if you wanted to check it out. Again, my Twitter is at Cosasverdes with the number 2 afterward. And over here, let me just show you how I traded. What I did, it was very simple. I gave an alert for my community with an ETH channel, and I gave them on Discord and the YouTube tiers. So if you haven't checked out the YouTube tiers, there's a join button right below this video, and if you click it, it's not going to take your money instantly or anything. Another video will pop up describing what I give to you. Essentially recordings of the Discord live sessions and all of the alerts that I give to the community as well. It's about 20 a week. Anyway, so I explained to my community why I would trade ETH and Cardano more heavily today. Specific to Bitcoin dominance, we'll probably go over that. But all I did today, even with my mess ups, but I'm going to point with my cigar, the tip of my cigar. I traded from there up to there. This is the 5-minute chart behind me, and I traded from there up to that channel. And I let my community know, just trade the channel, trust the channel, trust the channel. I can't tell what it's going to do today, so I made a multi-$1,000 day, really not knowing what it was going to do. But I just saw some higher lows and stuff and traded the channel, and it worked out really well. I could have done a lot better, but you could always go back and say that. Whether on my profit taking, I did very well. That's usually where I kind of suck. On my profit taking, I always chicken out too early, but today I did it. And my entries were pretty good, and my risk management was on par. As you can see behind over here and on Twitter. You can expand that on Twitter if you want. So let's dive into the charts. Let me show you what I think Bitcoin and Ethereum and crypto are getting ready to do here. Let's get it. All right. So any multi-$1,000 day, I'm going to probably smoke a cigar during the video. It's like a dog treat, give my brain some dopamine / incentive to not screw up, because I've had a couple multi-$1,000 down days too, which I did absolutely share with my community. I don't tout it on Twitter or anything. Hey, look, I'm down $1,200 today, but I do let my community know, because I am trying to specifically get a futures account from 5K to 100K. Right now it's at 15.4, something like that. But I feel that I'm in a groove with the trading algos and altcoins versus Bitcoin right now. Altcoins, how they're behaving with Bitcoin per Bitcoin dominance. So that's what we're going to go over today. It's all about Bitcoin dominance and knowing where to trade. Where's the money at, and which charts are giving you the most predictability. And that's what I'm drilling really hard on Discord right now. And so with Bitcoin, as weird as it sounds, is not where it's at. The money's not in Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is flirting. I'm going to go. So this is ETH you're looking at. Bitcoin is flirting and has too much attraction towards this 200 SMA, and so it's like it can't get away from it, right? So this is like a magnet down here. This is the 200 weekly simple moving average. All bear markets. Let me repeat that. All bear markets have gone down to that level, 100%, and still 100%. It's off by a few dollars, but since it hasn't touched it, Bitcoin's being pulled down. That's one thing to keep in mind for this assessment. The other part is Bitcoin dominance. And if you don't know what Bitcoin dominance, how to look it up, all you do is just do btc.d and hit enter. Don't worry about finding it here. Just btc.d, enter. Okay. All right. And, so it hit my origin line, of course, duh, because my origin lines work on everything. And it's probably going to come down to this origin line too. So Bitcoin and longing Bitcoin might be a little bit better once it's back down to 46% or 46 and change, somewhere over here. But as of now, Cardano and Ethereum are where it's at because they have really good liquidity. So I can't give, as a community leader, I can't give signals on altcoins that I'm going to pump with my community, right? I can't do that. And I accidentally did. When I first started out, I didn't realize, every time I talked about, oh, here's a bullish cross, like that small cap coin would go, bleh! I'm like, oh shit, I just accidentally pumped this coin by letting my community know. So with my signals, I'm giving signals on coins that my size community, we can't move the chart, right? So don't think I'm doing anything like that. However, I will let you know, it has been, I have done that on accident before with small caps, although it was highly profitable for pretty much everybody because it's bull market. But anyway, I'm staying away from that specifically. That's not the type of community I have. I don't plan. We play the charts, and we don't plan pump and dumps or pumps like a lot of communities do. We're specifically trading charts for what they are. Anyway, so until Bitcoin hits there, ETH and Cardano are where it's at for longing, okay, long positions. And really even short positions. They're just going to have a high level of volatility with a high level of predictability. And Bitcoin has neither. So go back to Bitcoin with that landscape. Look, when you think about where the money is, where am I going to be trading today? You want to be, okay, I'm going to tell you something that I drilled in my Discord a lot. Okay, listen to what I'm about to say. And sometimes you'll get it wrong, and that's okay. You just learn from mistakes. But what I'm about to say is very, very important. You want to look for the best mixture of volatility and predictability. That is the most profitable thing to trade. Now let me show you why ETH and Cardano are so much better than Bitcoin right now, at least for now. Because Bitcoin is unpredictably being attracted towards this, and it's not following channel rules very well. So it's just hanging out. Let me zoom out so you can see this. Watch. It's not predictable. It's hovering in here, not necessarily getting, so the bottom of this thing, that's where it is right now. It's at the bottom of this point of control. It's neither being rejected by this, nor is it using it as support at the bottom. So let's zoom in now so you can see what I mean. And let me get rid of this to 2017 support so you can see it better. All right, look. This line is neither being used as resistance nor support. It's going on both sides of it, so it's not predictable. Does that make sense? And at all of these bumps up, altcoins, as Bitcoin dominance falls, altcoins have been making higher highs. So, it's less volatile and less predictable. Does that make sense? Now let's go look at freaking Cardano. Watch. And this is part of the benefit of being in my community, because I'm trying to, I try to explain why I'm trading a certain coin that day. We're getting into the habit of it. I've been getting a lot better recently. It's specifically why, as opposed to Bitcoin, or Bitcoin specifically, because the last few days, Bitcoin is actually better for longs on every day. However, if you look at Cardano, it is in a 300-day long channel. This is the $3 top. Look how predictable this is. Extremely predictable. And when you zoom in to this area down here, which we'll do now, go to the 5-minute chart. I already knew that because it formed higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute chart, somewhere near the bottom of the range, at bare minimum, it wants to come up and try to kiss the bottom of the point of control. So every time Bitcoin, all Bitcoin's done today during all of this, Bitcoin, if you overlaid it, it has gone like this. That's Bitcoin. Less volatile, less predictable, right? Look at Cardano. Look. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. High, not a higher high. Higher high on a closing basis, higher high on a closing basis, along with higher lows. Way easier. Bottom of the channel with higher lows, then so if you can establish that, it's likely going to come up here. Is this a perfect short opportunity? Not so much. If futures of, I don't want to give that signal because I don't like shorting into hot moves, even though I've done it before and it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's just a riskier trade. I don't think I want to short there. I'd rather trade up to it and then let things rest. However, I'm done for the day. So that is part of what I went over in my community early in the day, so people who are wanting to learn how to trade know what coins to hop on because it's easier. Volatility with predictability equals profitability, and it takes a while over time to get used to the feel of what that feels like. What is your blend of volatility with predictability? Does that make sense? You're not going to get it right the first time, but in my community, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to give people layups. Are my calls and my suggestions perfect every time? Hell no. I have team leaders who come on the calls like, yeah, actually you did long, I went short there or whatever, and here's why. We discuss it, you know, and sometimes both people can be winners. Anyway, so that's Cardano. More predictable, less volatile, right? And Ethereum, if you just look at Ethereum, how predictable this looks, it's a lot better looking than Bitcoin. Look. For both longs and shorts. Look how beautiful this is. This is beautiful. This is like freaking just super beautiful. And all I did to have a multi-$1,000 day was I traded some of this upswing, but I trade from here to here and here to here. That's it. That's it. That's all I did the whole day, literally. And you want to see what my post from earlier today on Discord was, here's the channel. Just trust the channel if you're trading. That's it. I don't know where it's going, but it's going to play the channel. So I gave the exact lines and let everybody know, right? Bitcoin now. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Where the hell is Bitcoin going? Personally, I think it's going to go sideways for a while. However, I'm not confident with that statement. The last time I called for sideways for 30 days, guess what happened? It went sideways for 30 days. If you don't believe me, go back to my videos. It's the one that literally says in the subject line, Bitcoin will move sideways for 10 to 30 days at best. That's literally the subject, right? It'll work. So I'm thinking sideways, but what I am confident of is that it's going to stay within this big channel, which isn't much of a call. So the best I can tell is, let me get rid of some of this stuff. Yeah, I will leave that there. All right, so orange line equals the weekly 200 SMA. I think it's going to stay in this channel, which is an obvious call, right? Because it's got to do a lot of work to get out of the channel. However, here's where that is a valuable statement, okay? So essentially that analysis means it could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. Yes, you might not find that very helpful, but here's where it's helpful. And again, this is something I drill on Discord quite a bit. I'm going to do it very lightly here. It's the way that these small candles, whether it's 1 minute, 3 minute, or 5 minute. Shit, let's go to the 1 minute chart. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's how they interact with the channel lines. It's how they interact. So if this starts coming up here to perfectly get resisted by it and then makes a series of lower lows, I would expect that it's going to go down at bare minimum to test this again. So this is the point of control. I'm way zoomed in, right? So this is like the orange thing in the middle of the channel, right? When I zoom out. So I'm on the 1 minute chart. This is like taking a magnifying glass to a leaf and you can see the cells. That's what we're doing. So if you want to be able to tell when a plant is sick, you can magnify into the leaf cells with a magnifying scope, essentially, right? Or whatever they're called. I kind of wanted to say magnifying glass, but that you couldn't see the cells with that. Anyway, so we're magnified in, and Bitcoin has only used the top of this as a form of resistance, but not the bottom. So therefore, I think it's going to find its way back in here. What I think is going to happen is irrelevant. I'm not going to make an opinion on what happens until, here's where the value in the analysis comes. Watch right here. Until this is broken, so in a bearish sense, or in a bullish sense, that's not going to make me bullish, but what would is if it went like this. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe even go below it, then come back up, use that as support, and then make a higher low structure and then come up. I would look for something to that effect. So to the bearish side, even though I don't know which one's going to happen, but all I need to do is zoom in and magnifying glass and look at the leaf cells. Look, if it goes below here, bearish. It's going to come all the way down here. That's a tradable trade. That's 3%. Very tradable. You only need like 0.4% in the right direction to cover fees and be profitable, right? On any sort of leverage. I don't know on margin. I don't know what the fees are for margin, but on 5x leverage with even market buying, you need to get 0.35 to 0.4% of a move. All right. So that's to the downside. However, the way price will interact with this is this one, it could flood down, but it'll go like this. It'll drip and make lower, and it'll get rejected, and then go. Something to that effect with this line here. And it might not really rip down until it gets below this point, this wick right here, which something more like that. Yeah, because that wick was right. Yeah, something to that effect. So one of these two things could happen. And all I need to do is look at how the 1 minute or 3 minute or 5 minute, pick your one. I kind of like the 5 minute chart. It has fewer fake outs. The bots can control the fake outs of just when a candle's clearly going to be green. There are fewer times where the 5 minute candle turns red real fast and then goes up. So I just like the 5 minute chart a lot in viewing stuff on here. So one of these things will happen, and I can already tell which one will happen once one of these things occur. So now look what's happening. This box, okay, it actually might happen as we're fucking doing this. So what I'm going to do here now that it's breaking into the box, is it for sure going to come down here and hit that line? No, not yet. But is the probability increasing for that to happen? Yes. But I won't take the signal until I see some lower highs. I'm going to see some oscillations up. I want to see this acted as resistance, okay, with some lower lows, and then I would take a strong short to the downside on Bitcoin specifically, because Bitcoin dominance is falling, which means as Bitcoin falls, I mean, Ethereum and Cardano might hold up pretty strong. So I would actually short Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Or some alt that is looking really weak, like what's a couple? I think Atom looked really bad. But anyway, so I wouldn't short into this right now. It's probably going to pop right up, and it's going to hit this line. It could flood down all at once, but I don't think it will. And I don't take those trades. I don't bet on trades that just flood all the way down, because it's too often that it goes down and then comes right back up and you're at a loss. So I would prefer to miss out on the very few trades that just break through resistance. I don't trade like that. I honestly think it's a horrible way to trade. I would prefer to get this upswing and using it as resistance. So we'll see which one plays out. And plus, this is more common anyway. So why wouldn't you trade the more common thing? So it actually could make me a liar. This might be one that floods down right in front of my face. So it's kind of cool that what I'm talking about is happening live. If it does flood down and comes all the way straight down here, I choose to miss out on that trade, because remember, during altcoin season, I wish I could make myself bigger, even bigger than I am. Altcoin season, I tell people, don't chase green candles. Well, I'm not chasing that red candle. I will enter with an oscillation up as that's used as resistance. We'll see. And also sometimes this is the down move before it explodes up. So I want to see it. So you can get really screwed trying to short that way. I like shorting this on that one right there after a few lower highs. Maybe just two. So it could just do it on the second one, something like that. I would feel comfortable shorting on the second and then adding on the third, something to that effect. But I won't chase this. Does that make sense? All right, let me make myself a little smaller. And so right now it's very clear that downside is more probable. However, it's not my signal. Therefore, I'm not going to trade it. And I can simply use these trading channels knowing that it's going to respect the lines. And if I don't know which way it's going to go, I just examine how the small candles interact with the lines, and it's that simple. Does that make sense? All right, so if you want to pause the screen, this and copy these channels, this goes back to late March of 2022. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, these are all, all right, let me get rid of that guy over here. You wouldn't put this in there. But anyway, there you go. And these orange lines are just alerts. I can delete these for you. But you can stop the video, pause it, and do this. All right. Now, last thing. Bitcoin dominance. Once it starts going back up, I will then try to coordinate with myself and figure out, where is the money at? What's the best thing to trade? It can change day to day. So Ethereum and Cardano might not be where the money's at tomorrow. Does that also make sense? And Bitcoin might be the king of longs, and then Cardano and the ETH might be better to short. It does waver day to day sometimes. Sometimes you'll have a trend for 2 days or a week or whatever, but it might get choppy as well, where the money's at. So go ahead and click this video right here if you want to see how I knew Bitcoin would fall from 28K straight down to 23.1, exactly to this channel, exactly where it went. And go ahead and click this video over here if you want futures trading tips and advice that you cannot find anywhere else. We'll see you next time. You just got Timothy Worldwide. Peace.